It's Team of the Year, guys, so if you want to have a chance of getting one but you don't want to spend your kidney on FIFA points, be sure to check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap and reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you will get 5% off your order. So what's up guys, my name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you the 4 formations that I primarily use in a game of FIFA 23. So my complete game plan. I'm also going to be explaining when I use each formation and tactics to really give you guys a greater understanding. It won't be as in-depth as my other videos because I'm covering 4 different formations, and if you want the individual ones, they are on my channel. But yeah, just before we get into today's video guys, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop this video a thumbs up, as it does really help with the YouTube search algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And as always guys, if you do want those cheap FIFA coins, make sure you check the link out in the description and use my code REMA for 5% off. So when I go into a game of FIFA 23, the first formation that I will use is quite often the 4-2-3-1. This is because I think it's the most balanced formation in the game. So when I need to understand what type of opponent I'm playing against, or I want a formation that suits a lot of different other formations that you're playing against, I like the 4-2-3-1. So for the defensive style in the custom tactics, I have this on balance. This is because I like to have greater control when I am defending. It allows me to press when I need to and then be more conservative when I need to. So it does give me great control in that respect. For the defensive width, I have this on 42. This is a nice narrow width to cover all the passes through the middle so your opponent can't just run right through you. You do obviously have your opponent going down the wings, but we still have coverage of the wings to prevent that from happening. And as for the cutbacks, well, they're just a glitch in the game and you can't stop them anyway, unfortunately. Now moving on to the depth guys, I have this on 72. This is because it allows me to win the ball higher up the pitch and create those easy chances. I don't like being pinned back, so this depth works super well for me. It also has the automatic offside trap, having it on 72. For build-up play guys, I actually like using fast build-up with this formation because we do have 5 in the midfield with the 2 CDMs and 3 cams, so it allows me to quickly link up the play, and it goes hand in hand with the 72 depth because we can win the ball higher up the pitch to catch our opponent out, and then we can use fast build-up to make those quick attacks. For chance creation guys, I have this on direct passing. This is because I just think it is the best option to use. The white dots, which are your attackers, they constantly move around to create chances. You can see in the diagram they're always moving to break through the defensive line. Doesn't happen on something like balance, so direct passing is super important. Now for attacking width guys, I have this on 37 because this formation is quite narrow, so it's important that we do use a narrow width, and having your width on 37 actually works super well with fast build up because your plays are closer together, meaning you can link up the play super quick to make the most of the fast build up setting. Now moving on to plays in box guys, I have this on 5 because it's bang in the middle, so I can create some chances, but at the same time I don't overcommit my entire team, so bang in the middle for me on players in box. As for corners and free kicks, I just have these both on 2 or 1 depending on what I'm feeling. Doesn't really make much of a difference for me because I don't really cross from set pieces anymore. Now for the player instructions guys, on the striker I just have stay central. This is because I don't need him drifting off into the wide areas. His sole purpose is to be the finisher in the team, so we do need him to stay central as we already have players covering the wing. We have him on mixed attack as he is our only striker, and we don't want him to get too disconnected from the rest of the team by always running in behind. Sometimes with fast build up we do need him to link up the play as well, so mixed attack works super nice for that. For the cam we just have him on stay forward. This is so when we lose the ball and then we win it back, for example, we always have a couple of passing options up the pitch with Keane and Chiesa. This helps us get out and really break through the opponent's defense. For both wide cams we have them on get into the box for cross. This is so they actually make the transitional runs into the penalty box. If you have them on balance crossing runs, they don't really get involved and you can struggle offensively. So get into the box for cross on both the right cam and the left cam. Now for my right CDM, he is like my more box to box player, so I have cover center and I leave everything else alone. I don't really like to restrict this player because he's meant to attack and defend. Cover center just means he will cover those central areas because we don't need him to drift off to the wings. We've already got 2 wide players there. For the left CDM, I just have this player to be more defensive, so I put him on stay back while attacking, cut passing lanes and and cover center. These are just the most defensive options you can have on this player. Now for my left back, I actually have him on balance, attack and overlap. This is because the 4-2-3-1 is obviously a very narrow formation, so sometimes we do need extra width out of it. So by having it on balance, attack and overlap, our left back's going to join the attack and add extra width to the team, so we have extra options when we are attacking. Super nice to have, and yeah, I do suggest it very much. On my more defensive fullback, the right back, I just have stay back while attacking and overlap, because we don't want him to go forward by default, so we always have 3 at the back by default. And then we have him on overlap because let's say I do trigger a run forward with him, he will make those overlapping runs to add width. As for the centre backs and goalkeeper, I just leave them alone. Now when the 4-2-3-1 isn't quite cutting it, but I want to keep a similar approach but just have it a bit more direct, I use the 4-2-2-2 because it has the same 4 at the back, the 2 CDMs, but we sacrifice one of the cams for another striker, so it makes it a bit more direct. So for the 4-2-2-2, I have defensive style on balance for the same reason as a 4-2-3-1. I like to press when I want to press and drop off a bit when I need to do that as well. For the width, I actually have this on 38 because I feel like the 4-2-2-2 can be a little bit wider than the 4-2-3-1 a lot of the time. There's not really too much thought behind it, but 38 width has been working well on the 4-2-2-2. Again, I have my depth on 72, so we get the automatic offside trap and we can win the ball higher up the pitch, so 72 depth has been working very nicely for me. For build-up play, I actually have this on balance instead of fast build-up because the 4-2-2-2 is a bit of a flatter formation compared to the 4-2-3-1, so fast build-up doesn't work too well for it. I like having it on balance because your team keeps a better shape, especially your attackers. Moving on to chance creation, guys, as always, I have direct passing for the same reason as the 4-2-3-1. I like my players to make those attacking runs, and you don't really get that on balance. They're very static, so direct passing, again, very important. For my attacking width, I have this on 42 because I actually feel like the 4-2-2-2 is a little bit wider than the 4-2-3-1 because you've essentially got like 4 attackers when you go forward with the 2 cams and the 2 strikers. So I like to have my width on 42, so it's a little bit wider than the 4-2-3-1, but we still keep a primary narrow approach. Players in box, again, I just have this on 5 because I like getting some players in the box, but I don't want to overcommit my whole team. And corners and free kicks, again, I just have these 1 or 2, doesn't really matter. For the player instructions, on my left striker, which is like my more of a creator striker, I have stay central and mixed attack. We have him on stay central because we don't need him to drift off to the wing, so we want him to stay in those central areas. We have him on mixed attack, so he doesn't just run in behind all the time because he plays as a bit of a creator at times. So sometimes we can use Di Maria to sit a little bit deeper to even play in Robbie Keane, which Robbie Keane is my more of a clinical poacher striker. So we have him on stay central and getting behind. Again, we don't need him drifting off to the wings. He needs to be in those areas where a striker should be, and we have him on getting behind because we always want him to make those attacking runs to be the poacher that we know he can be, basically. So yeah, we have 1 more creative striker and 1 more attacking like finisher striker. Now for the right cam and left cam, again, I just have him on getting to the box for cross because we need him to make those transitional runs. You don't really get that with balanced crossing runs, so getting to the box for cross, super important yet again. Now for my left CDM, the one that I use to defend a bit more, I have stay back while attacking and cover center. I kind of switch between balanced defense and cut passing lanes depending on how I'm feeling, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. We just have him on stay back because he's more of a defensive player in our team, and cover center, so he covers the central areas. For the right CDM, I'm more box to box player. I just have him on cover center because we don't really need to restrict him. He's meant to attack and defend, so that works out quite nicely. Now on my left back, my more attacking fullback, I again have balanced attack and overlap. This is to add extra width in the team because the 4-2-2 is still quite a narrow formation, so sometimes we do need extra width there. As for the right back, we have stay back while attacking and overlap because we want him to stay back while default, so we always have at least 3 at the back, and we have him on overlap to actually add extra width if we do decide to trigger a run forward with him. Centre backs and goalkeeper we don't touch. When we need a goal and the other 2 formations aren't working, I will use a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow because I think it's a very good attacking aggressive formation. So for the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I have defensive style again on balance because I still don't really like using pressure tactics. For the width on defense, I have this on 30 because I like to keep it as narrow as possible to stop the through balls through the middle and stuff like that. For the depth, I have this on 72 again for the automatic offside trap, and it allows us to win the ball higher up the pitch, which is important when we do need a goal. For build-up play, I actually have this on fast build-up because when we win the ball higher up up the pitch, we need to be quick in our approach to scoring goals because we won't have much time left. So fast build up, super important when you are chasing that goal, and it goes hand in hand with the 72 depth. Again, for chance creation, direct passing, it's just the best one to use. I'm going to stop explaining it because I've already explained it 2 times in this video, but yeah, direct passing is an absolute must. For attacking width, I have this on 35. It's pretty self-explanatory. 4-1-2-1-2, very narrow formation, and with fast build up, we do need our players to be a bit more narrow-minded to really link up those passes quickly. Players in box, I still have this on 5 because I don't want to completely throw away a game by overcommitting my entire team. You don't really need to. You only need a few players in the box anyway, but yeah, again, I have this on 5. Corners and free kicks, again, I just have this on 1 because I don't really cross from set pieces. The player instructions on the left striker, this is pretty similar to the 4-2-2. I have stay central and mixed attack. This is because we don't need him drifting off to the wings. We need him to be in those central areas to, you know, help finish those chances. And we have him on mixed attack because he's our more creative striker. So we don't always just want him running in behind. Sometimes we want him to sit a little bit deeper to play as another creator. On the right striker, who is more of our poacher, we have him on stay central and getting behind because, again, we want him to stay in those central areas, and getting behind super important so he does make those runs to get into those finishing positions. And Di Maria can sit a little bit deeper and play in Robbie Keane at times. For the cam, we have him on comeback on defense. This is so it defends in a 4-4-2 formation. It just makes it a little bit more defensively solid when we do lose the ball, because even though we are going for goals, we don't want to completely throw away the game by having a terrible defense. So by putting the cam on comeback on defense, Chiesa will come back to defend as our right mid in a 4-4-2. On the right centre mid, our more box-to-box style player, I kind of switch between balanced attack and stay back while attacking, but at the moment I'm just using stay back while attacking because, again, I don't want to throw away the result completely, and you're already going to see how much more attacking this formation can get anyway. We have him on cover centre because we do need him to cover those central areas, and it will make him defend as one of the centre mids in this 4-4-2 thing we've got going on. For the CDM, I have stay back while attacking and cover centre because the CDM, we still need him to stay back for the actual shape of the formation. So stay back while attacking and cover centre. Cover centre just means he will defend as one of the middle centre mids in this formation. For the left centre mid, we actually use an attacking player in Jairzinho. So we have get forward and cover wing. We have him on get forward so he does join the attack and really help to contribute, because you do have limited attackers in this formation. You only have 2 strikers and a cam by default. So we put another attacker in the left centre mid spot. We have him on cover wing so he will actually defend as a left mid in a 4-4-2. So Jairzinho left mid, Park Ji-sung left centre mid, Pogba right centre mid, Chiesa right mid. It just makes it a bit more defensively solid. Now for both fullbacks, I actually have balance attack and overlap. This is to add extra width in the formation because it is very narrow. So when we are going for a goal, it's important that we try and get extra width out of this formation to make it as deadly as possible, because what makes this so overpowered is that you have very good width, but you're also able to be very narrow. So it's very difficult for your opponent to actually stop you. So by having your fullbacks on balance attack and overlap, they actually go up next to the strikers to make it 4 up top, basically. When I want to see a game out, I just go to the most basic but solid formation there is, which is the 4-4-2. So for the 4-4-2, I have a defensive style on balance. This is because I don't really like drop back. I think it makes you a little bit too defensive, and one mistake and you concede. So I still like using balance because sometimes pressuring your opponent can still be very effective to see out a game. Moving on to the width, I have this on 42. For the same reason as my other formations, you still need to primarily cover those central areas, which is why a more narrow width is suited. For depth, we have this on 55 because we don't need to press higher up the pitch when we are winning a game. We want to sit a little bit deeper to stop those through balls coming in behind, which your opponent will definitely do if they are chasing a game. For build-up play, I have this on balance because we don't really need to build up the play super fast because we're already winning the game. That being said, slow build-up's a little bit too slow and you can get caught on the ball. So balance, super good when you are winning a game. Chance creation, again, we have it on direct passing because it is just the best one. I don't want to explain it again, but look at the diagram, bottom right corner. You can see the movement out of your attackers. Super effective, super good to use. Now for width, I have this on 47 because the 4-4-2 is a little bit of a wider formation with the left mid and the right mid. So we still want to have a bit of width with it. We don't make this any higher because we don't want to make it super wide because it can be difficult to actually make passes. So 47 keeps a nice width, but at the same same time it's not too wide. Players in box, again, I have this on 5. This is so if we do end up creating a chance, we still have players in the box to score those chances, but we don't overcommit our entire team. Corners and free kicks, again, we have this on 1 because I don't really cross the ball from set pieces. For player instructions, on the left striker, stay central and get in behind, and on the right striker, stay central, mixed attack. This is because, again, like the other formations, I have one more creative striker which we want to help create sometimes, and then we have one more of a finisher striker, so we have them on getting behind to always make those runs. Stay central just means they won't drift off to the wings. Now on the left mid and the right mid, we have come back on defense, get into the box for cross and getting behind. This is so we have a nice defensive shape and they always fill in their roles when we are defending. Getting behind means they will make those runs when we get the ball to really allow us to break out, because sometimes the best form of defense is attack, so getting behind super good. And then we have get into the box for cross, so they do get involved when we end up creating chances, otherwise it's very difficult to actually create any at all. Now for the right centre mid, our more box to box style player, we just have him on balance, attack and cover centre, because again he's more of a box to box player. We still need somebody to help transition from defence to attack, so cover centre is the only setting we use on this player. Now on the left centre mid, the one that we want to stay back, we have stay back while attacking and cover centre. Now, for the fullbacks, we just have stay back while attacking, because again, we don't really need them to go flying forward, as we're seeing out a game and the 4-4-2 is already a pretty wide formation, so we don't really need additional support from the fullbacks. But yeah, everything else is left alone. But yeah, guys, that is everything for the video. If you have enjoyed or found this useful, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And if you do want those FIFA coins, make sure you check out the link in the description and use my code Rema for 5% off. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.